So the last time I had a window open so I could see what was going on and whether or not people were commenting, and I had my desktop muted on my computer, but I didn't realize that it was still sending the sound, even though I couldn't hear it, it was still sending the sound through the stream. So live and learn, live and learn. Anyhow, I'm just trying to test this out again. Again, this is not announced or anything. Just wanted to test out my system here. And I'd also will go ahead and share some information that I have learned about the California election. So let me just get some feedback from somebody that sound is okay. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up. I got 4 likes. Audio check good. Okay, thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. All right, so let me go to what I wanted to share. Not necessarily that. Okay, so when I was talking about the percent of people that had voted in California and the amount of votes that had been counted, I had been mentioning that, on election night, we only got to about 39%. By 2:55 a.m. on the 15th, we were at 42, I believe. And even as of yesterday afternoon, it hadn't gone up above 42%. And some people had pointed out, well, the New York Times is claiming that 73% of the vote has been counted, which of course means that, there's probably statistically no way that the gap could be closed between those that voted to recall and those that voted to keep Gavin. So I just wanted to clarify, I kind of understand that, but when we take a look at voter turnout historically, so now it's saying we're at 43.4%, and that was as of yesterday evening at 6:49 p.m. So if you take a look at the previous voter turnout before, so everything that is listed here is when the majority of the votes were done in person. They did have the vote by mail people. Where I live, it's always vote by mail because I'm more rural, so I don't have a precinct, and that was what the case was back in 2018, 2016, whatever. But 2020 saw the first statewide, everybody gets a ballot, whether or not they ask for it, whether or not they need it, they get one mailed in. And we do not have figures on that. We don't know what the voter turnout was because they're not sharing it here. So when you take a look at this number, the 43.4%, that is voter turnout of what's been counted so far. Not everything's been counted. My vote has not been counted yet, and I handed it in to the precinct that I was working at along with my husband and my in-laws. And as of this morning, it's still showing that my ballot has been mailed to me, but it has not gone to the second step that it has been received by the mail system. Of course, I didn't mail it in, so it would have skipped that, and it would have gone to the third quarter of this circle where it should have said received ballot. So this is grayed out. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it says ballot inbound. That would have been if I mailed it and it would have been scanned in, and somehow the post office would have sent that information to the county, and then that would have been checked. But I didn't mail it in. I handed it in directly, so it should have said at this third quarter here, ballot received. Your ballot has been received, but not yet counted necessarily. And then this fourth section here says ballot accepted. Your ballot's been accepted and it's been counted. Thanks for voting. But I don't have any of that. And I turned it in on Tuesday. I know that it got received. I was part of the process that made sure it got into the sealed bag that had all the votes in it for our little precinct, which was around 221. So if my vote isn't in there yet, my question is, are any of that 221 ballots from my particular precinct, have any of them been counted yet? And here's another situation that's a little funny. This is my mother-in-law. I signed in with her permission. So she initially, her ballot went to her old address in Fresno. So when my in-laws moved in with us in April, my father-in-law switched over everything for him. He got his ballot. My mother-in-law didn't get her ballot, and she's like, "Where's my ballot?" Well, ballots had already all been sent out. My husband, me, my father-in-law, we all got our ballots, but my mother-in-law didn't get hers. So he called up the county and he got that straightened out, and the very next day she got her ballot. But for some reason, there's no evidence, there's no tracking of the fact that Kern County sent her a ballot. And as to what happened to her old ballot, well, by state law, there are certain pieces of mail that do not get forwarded. Your DMV records do not get forwarded. For instance, if you you need your title and you're like, oh, send me my title. If you didn't update your address with the DMV, you're not going to have it forwarded to you. The post office will not forward it. That's the same thing with your ballot. So your ballot will not be forwarded to you. So the new owners got another ballot. Now, as to what they did with that ballot, I don't know. Hopefully they were honest and they destroyed it. But it very well, what would have stopped them from filling it out? The only thing that would have stopped them would be signature verification. But I sat through about 40 minutes of signature verification, and I can tell you that very little was rejected. There were a few signatures that looked very wonky, and they were obviously wonky, and they got rejected. But what if you have an example of the person's signature? And you can approximate it. If it's close, then chances are it's not going to be challenged. So, but anyhow, back to the percentage of vote. So it's saying that we're now at about 43.4%. California is still going to allow all the ballots that are received by next Tuesday. So that's the 21st of September. So long as they receive it by the 21st and it was postmarked by the 14th, then their ballot will be counted. So when I'm saying that we're at 43.4%, there could be a whole nother load of ballots that got deposited in a mailbox on Tuesday. And those, Republicans traditionally vote in person. But what if they weren't able to make it to their precinct? Were there any precincts that closed because they didn't have enough volunteers? My particular precinct, we only had 3 people there. We were originally supposed to have 5. So 2 of them did not show up. If only 2 of us had been there, I don't know what would have happened, but I can tell you we wouldn't have been following the rules, because it says in the rules that 2 people have to be with the ballots at all times. So if there were only 2 people in my precinct, there would have been no bathroom breaks, there would have been no getting something to eat, and we were there from 6 a.m. till we finished with reconciliation at about 9:30. So with 2 people, it would have been impossible. So were there any precincts that were closed and somebody went to their precinct thinking they were going to vote in person and it was closed? I don't know the answer to that. If anybody does, please let me know. But I think we have a little bit of a crisis as to the number of people who are volunteering to oversee our elections. And without people there, then we're not going to have the integrity that we need. So let's see here. So we got 35 days left until the votes are certified. According to New York, let me see where I put that. All right, so here is the New York Times, and they are claiming as of, this is updated 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time, that 78% of the vote has been counted. Again, I don't know where they get that number from, because until it's been all counted, you don't really know how many people turned in their vote, because those votes can still be trickling in from the mail system. And my vote hasn't been counted yet, so I don't know how they're keeping track of that. But they're claiming here right now that we're at 58% yes in Kern, 41% no. Of course, Los Angeles County was overwhelmingly no. But anyhow, keep reporting things. Report it to your county, report it to the state, report it to Larry Elder, report it to Project Veritas. Also, I found a new website that they are keeping track of things. See where I can find it. All right, so it's called electionfraud20.org, and they kind of compile information about questionable shenanigans. And I'll put a link in the description on that. All right, let me go back to my live stream here and see if anybody has anything for me. Okay, so we got John Cordisco back. I'm glad you're back, John, because I really wanted to shout you out. He is a YouTuber that is being shadow banned, and he puts out awesome videos, very well researched, very well produced, very well thought out, and I have no idea why he only has about 600 subscribers. So there's a lot of features that are on YouTube that he doesn't have yet because he doesn't have that magic number of 1,000 subscribers. So I would love for people to go ahead and subscribe to him and show him some love. Linda, yes, it would be awesome if Gavin had to eat some crow. And yeah, people need to get to those, and observe the polls. So there were only 3 of us in my small little precinct. We didn't have any observers. We had paperwork that we had to do in case observers came in. We had to show them, that we're marking off voters as they come in. But we didn't have any observers. I did run into a lady who was observing in Mojave, and she was in, I found her in Bakersfield because she was also going to be observing the process of the count and the signature verification where they were actually doing the count. So, see, how long have we been doing this? I think I got across everything that I wanted to do here. So I appreciate you helping me out with testing my audio and everything. And I am probably going to be doing another live stream here shortly because I lost the one that I did yesterday to help show appreciation for my one and only sponsor, Ellie and Grace. So I'm going to get myself set up for that. So if you are interested in watching that, then tune in a little bit. But anyhow, God bless. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate, again, you hanging in there with me. And I will talk to you later.